Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this video, this reading was meant to find you regardless of your zodiac sign. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Two of Wands is a good place to begin. This is a card of taking control over our lives, realizing the things that are within our power to control and sort of giving up the rest, surrendering to the rest, you know. So this card is about that, that positive and assertive, intentional striving toward our goals. Okay, this is the part that says, you know, we set an intention, we have to do the work. All right. Sometimes this card is talking about an obstacle or a kind of maybe a roadblock that you feel like is in front of you right now. It could be manifesting through a person, through some thought forms of our own. It could be manifesting through circumstances that seem to be outside of our control. Okay. This card reminds us that we can only do what we can do. Okay. I feel like you're someone who is practicing letting go. You're someone who is trying to practice surrendering. You know, in other words, putting forth our very best effort, doing everything that we can to be our best selves and do our best work and be fully present and active and you know, putting in the work, right? And then trying not to have such a draining energy reaction to things that we cannot control. Okay, and that seems to be very difficult work for most of us, because we feel as if things happen to us, right? We're trying to accomplish our goals. We're trying to reach certain levels. We're trying to raise our vibrations. We're trying to manifest. And things are happening that we feel like are getting in our way. And we have a reaction to those things. We feel like they're happening to us. What if they were happening for us? You know, what if inconveniences, hardships, difficulties, trials, unfortunate things that we wish did not happen. What if they were happening to us to nudge our path in a direction that it really needs to go, even though we're not quite aware of that? You know, I had an application recently that I had submitted, and first they approved me, and then they said no. Then they sort of took it away afterwards, right? And I was very upset about that. And then I realized, well, what if this is Spirit's way of taking this away from, seemingly taking it away from me? Because going down that path was going to lead to worse things, right? Was going to lead to disaster. What if this was Spirit's way of nudging me in a different direction to avoid something? But to me, I look at it as an inconvenience. I wanted the thing, I applied for it, they gave it to me, and then they took it back, right? And we can't help but having an emotional reaction to that. That wasn't anything I could have controlled. I did my part the way I needed to. So we have to, I think, accept those types of events. We have to, I think we're trying to, and perhaps looking at them not as happening to us, but happen for me. What if that really was a blessing? What if I I avoided something that would have been more catastrophic? Okay. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what is going on here with your, I mean, this is Mars and Aries. This is the feeling that we need to control everything, right? And of course, we have a Princess of Wands who is a little bit impulsive We have more fire here with an Ace of Wands. We have a Tower, yeah. And we have a Seven of Swords. To me, the Seven of Swords is a search for meaning. And we have an Ace of Pentacles. I believe that it's through these Tower moments, let's say, these, inconveniences is kind of the very bottom level. It can go all the way up to literally catastrophes, right? But the Tower moments, those surprises in life that, we at the time are not very happy about, right? The Tower is always going to disrupt your life. This is, if in my case, I was issued something and then it was taken away, right? And that to me felt like it was a surprise. It was a disruption of my life. It wasn't anything all that severe. It was an inconvenience more than anything. The Tower moment is always a change in life that we're not expecting. And in the moment, it feels terrible. In the moment, a Tower feels like disruption. It feels like hardship. It feels like pain, But very often, the Tower moments in our lives happen to bring us either back into alignment with our path or to help us avoid the wrong turns. We can't always see the benefit of the Tower, not when we're right in the middle of the Tower moment. It's usually only afterward that we see, okay, wow, this really was something that helped me, avoid a bigger disaster, or it got me back on track, or it's through these challenges of life that we've either learned something, or maybe it's merely an opportunity to practice surrender. It could be the thing that was taken away from me. I'm not going to go into detail about what it was. It was issued and then it was taken back. But what that was, I will never truly know that I had avoided a catastrophe by having that thing taken away, right? So I will have to assume that it was done by Spirit for my best interest. But I will never have proof of that. I think a different scenario for you. I think you're getting the proof that this is something that is not pleasant. It's not desirable. We wouldn't wish this on anyone, but it's happened. And I think that you are trying to find the meaning in that, and I think you will. I think you will get the proof that Spirit has pushed you in a different direction in order to steer you away from a greater disaster. Over here we have a Knight of Swords, a Three of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Eight of Pentacles. This is very nice. I like this very much. It is wisdom through this situation that we're sort of reluctant to accept. Okay, the Hierophant is in the position of the obstacle, and to me the Hierophant represents wisdom or knowledge or teaching coming from outside. Okay, coming from an external source. So it's difficult but necessary to try to find the lesson here. Okay, because this is Spirit nudging us in the right direction, even though it may not feel that way at the moment. Okay, now let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it right here with Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below. Also remember, this is not a zodiac sign specific reading. This is for everybody. If you're watching this, it's for you, okay, regardless of your zodiac sign. So let's look around the room here, because we see just the two major arcana enter. We see the Tower moment that happened already to you. This is something that has already taken place. And we see the Hierophant, which is our difficulty to really learn the lesson here or figure out what the heck it happened for. What was the reason? How is this good for me that this Tower happened? Okay. It's almost as if you won something and it was taken away. It's almost as if there was it could be anything. In my case, it was something that was issued and then they said, oh, never mind, we're taking it back. But for you, the Tower could be, a lot of things. It could be a breakup, could be the loss of a job. It could be something that you were applying for that got denied. It could be that it was, a goal that you were after that, Spirit has put up some roadblocks for you and put up some detour signs. And those are frustrating. I know when I'm driving, I really don't like to get to the detours where they're doing construction or something. And then you have to take this circuitous route just to go, the quarter mile to the freeway or something. So we've got a lot of fire here. And to me, all of this fire, including the tower, is all that frustration that comes with a tower event. It's all that frustration. Okay? And, we don't have any water. No, because you're not feeling so good about this. We don't have the water because we're not, either the water was here and it got taken away, okay? Or it just was not here like we thought it was going to be. The absence of water is showing that we are we're in our anger a little bit here, in our frustration. Okay. And like I said, it might be coming through another person in your life, or it may be someone from your past. Okay. We've got air, a couple of air cards. Yeah. And of course we have our earth and our earth cards here. And the Taurus energy here is an earth card. The air, I think, is really where a lot of this is taking place. See, we've got the fire and we've got the air. And I think in the future position, we're looking at the earth in the future as the outcome here. I think that you're understanding that this was an event. I don't know what to call it other than an event that's happening for your growth. It's happening for you, not to you, for you. In the moment, we don't recognize that. And it's rare that we do. Okay. It's rare that any of us can, in the moment that we're going through a tower, to recognize, oh, this is good for me. Okay. It's not the same as when we're going to the gym intentionally and I say, I know that this is going to suck, but I know it's going to be good for me. Or if we're doing some dietary restrictions or something like this, we say, I know it's uncomfortable, but it's good for me. This is not that. This is something that was the universe saying, surprise, you're not going where you thought you were going. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's one of those, you ever see those Final Destination movies? And it's kind of like we're avoiding a disaster through what feels like a personal disaster, but we're avoiding something that will be way worse for us. But how will we ever know? Right. I think it's interesting that you have the Ace of Pentacles in the future position, because I feel like you're going to find in the next few days to couple of weeks that this tower event has put you on a much better trajectory. Okay. And I think it's incumbent upon you to sort of write this down. Okay. And that's what Spirit's saying with all this air energy. Write this down, because you're going to want to reflect on this later. Okay, write down what's happening to you. And in a few days, write down sort of what you think the lesson was, or what you think you learned from this. And then in a couple days or a week beyond that, write down what positive growth you saw as a result of this tower event that happened to you. Okay. And we may assume that this is Spirit bringing us to greater things, better things, things that are meant for us to further our growth and our evolution. Some of you may be skeptics and say, well, this is just me finding meaning in something. Either way, right? What does it matter in the end? Yeah. What matters is that we are taking this tower event, and rather than spiraling down from it, we're using it as an opportunity for surrender. I'm imagining the mystery card might be the Hanged Man. And we're using it for an opportunity to further our growth and evolution. Okay. But these fire cards, especially the Princess of Wands. Now, I feel like there's a younger air sign person in your life somewhere that's kind of, they're causing some trouble, or I don't know if they're starting drama with you or something like that. A younger Yeah, a younger air sign person. That's sort of, it feels like they're interfering with things. It feels like they're kind of like starting drama with you. And this might be related to this Tower event, but there is now this sort of agitation. We have a Two of Wands and the Princess of Wands, which is kind of like we're having a difficult time not doing anything. It's like we feel like we have to kind of fight back. We feel like we have to assert ourselves. We feel like we have to take control and fix something, or assert ourselves and use our will to create the outcome that we want, right? The Princess of Wands is a very impulsive card. It's sort of a reaction, that something has happened and we feel like we have to react to it. Okay, but this again, with the idea of control, it feels like we have to control everything, that we have to be responsible for everything, and that there has to be something that I can do positively to influence the situation. And then we get the impulsive Princess of Wands that is just kind of out there making things worse, like stop trying to help. You might tell your friend, okay, thanks, but just stop trying to help me. Because this is a very impulsive card, and this is going to sort of make things worse. It's almost like the hands-off approach is going to be the best bet here. But it's difficult to do that right now. But that's kind of the message. Spirit is showing us all this fire energy and saying that, it's going to be difficult for you to deal with your need to control everything, and to recognize that anything that you might do is going to be a reactionary behavior that will probably make things worse. Okay. You have this Ace of Wands underneath here, and I think this is your vision of the future. This is your vision of what you thought would happen here. Like, this was you saying, okay, I can see the path, I can see the future, this is good. And then suddenly we get the X, right? We get the roadblock, we get the stop sign, we get the detour, we get the railroad crossing, that says, nope, sorry, the road's closed. Can't go this way. Well, that was the way I saw that I was going. This is the way I want to go. We've got the Ace of Wands here. And I feel like your vision of the future is it's hazy now. It got clouded with the Seven of Swords, and with this Tower event, we can't see the vision that we had before. What we realize is that Spirit has simply given you a detour and put you on a different road. Maybe this road is going to be more scenic. Maybe this road is going to really be a shortcut. Maybe this road, and you may never actually get proof positive of this, but maybe the new road that you're on, the detour road, is helping you to avoid a disaster that would have really delayed things a lot anyway. It may seem like it's taking longer to take the detour, right? But it would have probably stopped your path permanently had you stayed on the path you were on. It would have stopped the journey permanently had you stayed on that path. So really, this is a shortcut, okay? It may not feel that way at the moment. We may feel quite confused and searching for meaning with our Seven of Swords, not knowing why this happened. What could the reason possibly be? And now we're trying to stay on that straight path with the Ace of Swords here, right? Trying to stay on that Ace of Swords. But there are so many kind of contrary thoughts now that we start to wonder, why did this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? What is the purpose here? What am I supposed to do? We can't see the future that we once saw because we're in the middle of this and our vision is clouded. Okay. And now I don't know if there is I feel like there was I don't know if there was an injury or something that happened to you in the last few months. This isn't a medical reading. I'm not diagnosing anything, but I feel like there was an injury. Either you or someone close to you had some sort of a physical injury recently. I don't know if it was a leg or an ankle or foot or something. It's like a lower limb kind of thing that happened. With the Ace of Pentacles in the future, though, and also there is there's an R name for you somewhere. There's an R name coming through. Maybe it's the younger air sign person that seems to be involved in your life in kind of a pesky kind of way, right? With the Ace of Pentacles in the future position, I think that you are going to very soon realize that you kind of avoided something here. That this was you kind of dodged a bullet here, but it may take a few days and some surrender, right, to realize that you dodged the bullet. Okay. Now, your mother or your maternal person has passed in your life, right? I feel like you've got a maternal energy in spirit with you. Mom, grandma, older sister, maybe great-great-grandma. It's like an older female energy. They're coming through for you right now. Okay. And I feel kind of a pleading energy from spirit, I think from this older female, kind of saying, please, just trust it, kind of thing, like pleading with you for something. Yeah, does that make sense? Because I think that you're maybe considering some drastic response here. You're considering some kind of, really a reactive, impulsive action, as a response to this Tower event. When I think Spirit is trying to counsel, and your loved one, you're in Spirit, is trying to counsel, saying, please, please don't do it, right? Don't do anything rash right now. I think that we're searching for the meaning of all of this, yeah. And we have to accept that this Tower event may be a life-changing moment for you. The towers are the exclamation points of life. And in the middle of it, it feels disruptive. It feels chaotic. It feels like it feels like chaos, right? We don't always know whether this is going to lead to better things. We just feel like our life is being shaken, our world's being flipped upside down. It's never a good thing, right? But if we can control our reactions and control what we can control. I can control my behavior. I can control my attitude. I can control my love and my gratitude. I can control my vibrations. Okay? Then we may see that this is happening for our benefit. It is happening for us and not to us. Yeah. I think the Seven of Swords is partly the entertaining of the idea that we're going to abandon our work, abandon our path right now. And in some ways, I kind of feel like this is like we're sort of on top of all this, we're kind of waving the white flag. We're throwing in the towel. I think we're considering something like this. And I really feel like Spirit's saying, no, keep on doing keep on the journey. This is a detour that is going to be good for you. It is better for you on this detour. And it's in a way you have to trust. Sometimes the Seven of Swords is saying, I don't trust it. I don't trust anybody, right? It may feel right now that a lot of things are against you, that people in your life are against you. And I'm still feeling that younger air sign person that seems to be meddling in your life, or it seems to be causing some issues. It almost feels like the people around you aren't really supporting you at this time. Spirit is supporting you. You have a large team on the other side that is supporting you. Okay? I think you've always been a rather lucky person. I think that, you feel as if Spirit gives you a lot of green lights. When you're on your path, it feels like that. You get a lot of green lights. Spirit's opening doors where there were never doors before. So then when a door gets shut in your face, it feels like a very clear message from Spirit, right? It feels like Spirit suddenly is saying, no, get out of here. This isn't your path anymore. When we're used to Spirit being there and showing us the path and lighting our way and we're going forward, to suddenly get a big roadblock, it feels like a shock. It throws us for a loop, right? It startles us and we say, what the heck is going on here? Sometimes things have to happen. They must happen abruptly so that we avoid calamity, so that we avoid something worse happening. Okay. I mean, it's something very, it's very, I think it's very common. But I think a lot of people don't recognize it as that. It's sort of like, you're going to take a flight or something, and something breaks down on the airplane, and your flight is delayed, and you have to stay until the next day and fly out, and it's annoying, right? And it's very frustrating, and maybe it's caused you to be late for the meeting, and you're late for the job, and all this kind of stuff cascades down. I think that things like that happen. And we have to believe, we have to choose to believe that this happened for my best interest, that there was a reason why we didn't do that thing. It's kind of like when you're about to leave the house in your car, but you got a flat tire. Well, there's no benefit there. Flat tires are useless, right? They're like flies buzzing in your ear. But you fix the tire. And then maybe, you hear on the news that there was an accident on that road that you would have taken. Okay. There was one time that I was driving early in the morning. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a job that I'd have to start work at about 2:30 in the morning. So I was on the road at about 3 or 3:30 in the morning, and I came to a stoplight. And I had a really old car. What was I driving at the time? I think it was an old Honda. I think it was my Honda Accord, really old Honda Accord. And I was at the red light. And there's no one else on the road. It was still dark outside, not a car in sight, right? My light turned green. And when I started to drive, my car stalled. And it would not start. It was the alternator was bad in that car. And the car wouldn't start. And it was an inconvenience. And literally a second later, a second after the car stalled, another car coming from the side ran the red light and went right through the intersection. The only car I'd seen all morning. They must have been going 80, 100 miles an hour. I don't know. It seemed fast. Right through the red light. I still had the green. If my car would have worked, and I would have driven forward, that car most likely would have T-boned me at very high rate of speed. Why did my car stall at that very moment? And at the time I was very frustrated in that second, but then I saw that car zoom by and I said, oh my gosh. And I think things like that happen very often. A lot of the time we don't see the car zooming by through the red light. We don't see what we would have avoided. We just see, my car stalled, great, now I'm going to be late for work. And indeed, I was late for work. I had to get the tow truck and everything, and it was a big disaster. But I had the evidence right before my eyes that it happened for a reason. Someone's looking out for me. Whether you want to call it luck or chance or spirit or God, goddess, deity or divine intervention or spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, all of these things. I believe in all of it. And, at that moment, I didn't care about the car, about the tow truck, about having to call my boss and say, I can't make it, my car's, dead. Because I saw that other car and I knew for a fact that there's a very good reason why I didn't just drive through that intersection. Okay? And things like that have happened quite often in my life, actually. And I think that you're going to see, and it may take a little bit more time for this to play out, but if you're paying attention, you'll see how this is going to be a positive thing for you. You will get you'll get a glimpse of what you would have avoided. Let's say somebody broke up with you, right? And then you're going to see that person, wow, okay, that's not someone I would have wanted to be with anyway, right? But at the time, it feels not so good. But I believe that you will see the evidence of the importance of this, the necessity, why this had to happen for you. Okay? And I think you're going to continue on your path. It may seem like a detour, but it is in your best interest. Okay. I feel like you have you've had a lot of jobs or employment around food I don't know if in food service restaurants or in food prep or something like this, but you sort of worked with food in your life. Yeah, I don't know if that's your thing or if it's just if it was a temporary thing, or if when you were younger you did a lot of restaurant work, something like that. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. These readings are totally free. Your general energy is the Knight of Swords. To me, this feels like discernment. I feel like you're somebody who is trying to understand the right course of action. You're very thoughtful. You're not someone who is typically very reactive to things. You kind of, I feel like you're an intellectual. I feel like you make your decisions based on kind of sound judgment, that you try not to just have that kind of knee-jerk reaction to things or reacting out of anger or frustration. I think that you have the ability to slow yourself down and consider all of the facts, consider all of the data, all the evidence before making a choice, making a decision. This is sort of a Libra energy, and tells me that you are giving yourself some time before deciding anything. Okay, and maybe this has to do with that younger air sign person, that you're not just, I don't know if it's like they're trying to draw you into some drama, or they're trying to elicit a response from you. You're not going to let them do that, right? You're going to sort of let them do whatever they want to do, because you cannot control them, right? Before you formulate your response, okay? And to me, it feels like this might be something taking place at work or in some sort of a professional scenario, okay? It's not like a family member or a friend. It's something that's like business related in some way. You're going to do the smart thing, okay, rather than the impulsive thing here. Now, the Three of Swords in the environment is interesting, because in a way, this is a little bit of heartbreak or sorrow, or it is sort of, this card's about understanding the process of creation on the mental plane. We understand that our thoughts create our reality. Okay, and in terms of your relationships, and maybe your relationship with this particular person, or your relationship even with this event, I think you understand that your mindset is really going to make all the difference here. That the flow of energy is what it is, right? But how we relate to that energy is going to determine our experience of reality. We are creating our world via our thoughts every moment, right? And I think the Tower happened. That is not being disputed, right? But I think what is under consideration here is how we look at it, how we understand it. Okay, and if we feel like it is happening to us, it happened to us, and it is, an undesirable event, and it is just nothing but pain and disaster, and we stay in our frustration, and we react against it in that way, that's going to be the nature of our reality. It seems like it is a choice after we let a couple of days go by, right, and we are able to get our reactive energy under control, that we can understand the right way to look at this. And I think that you're going to get that piece of evidence that's going to allow you to say, okay, this happened for me, not to me. Because the way we look at it is going to affect our relationship with reality, our relationship with the world around us. Okay? And really, to quote Wayne Dyer, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I think that really is true. I think the alignment of energy, the way things have occurred, the sequence of events, being what they are unchangeable. Those are things, this tower is something you cannot control. It has happened, right? You couldn't have prevented it, you didn't cause it, but it happened, and the normal human reaction is say, it happened to me. And I don't know why, it sucks, it's terrible, now my life is a lot different than it was. But we can choose to frame our reality differently. We can choose to frame that event different, look at it from a different perspective in order to transform its energy into something positive. The sequence of events are not going to change. What can change is how we interpret those events, the meaning that we choose to find in those events. And I think that you are getting a confirmation from Spirit that you have to be on the lookout for, because it will be there. And I feel like the phoenix is your symbol right now. And I feel like you need to look for phoenix symbolism, look for synchronicities involving the phoenix bird. The phoenix has to burn, has to be reduced to ashes if it's going to be reborn on the higher plane. Okay. And I think the three of swords is us understanding that. And I think really this is about controlling our thoughts, controlling our perception. Your thought creates reality. If you hold it in your head long enough, eventually you're going to hold it in your hand too. And if we have that kind of relationship with this tower, guess what? Life will always be a tower. This will always be something that is happening to us, and it will happen again and again and again and again. And we will be spiraling down. Okay. Now, if you've been redecorating something, you've been taking things off the wall and putting new things up, or something like the Spirit's referencing that. I think it is this maternal energy that's with you on the other side. It's kind of like their way of saying that they're with you. You know, that they're sort of they're supporting you, and they're witness to your life. And I think, you know, they're on your team. Right, so they're referencing taking things off the wall and then putting new things on the walls. Yeah, there's something that looks like that anyway. So the three, anyway, the Three of Swords, we could be talking about something like the loss of a job or a breakup or something. I don't know that it's a breakup, but I guess it could be. But it feels like it was almost a severance of your relationship with someone. To me, it feels like it is maybe there was a fight, a disagreement at the workplace. There was a battle there. There was an argument. There was some contention, friction. There was a disagreement or something along those lines. Okay. Now, the Hierophant, of course, is the energy that we're kind of having difficulty with, because that is, you know, the great teacher of the universe, showing us, trying to show us anyway, the lesson. And very often this is the card we don't want to look at in the reading. This is the great river that we have to cross. And if we refuse to look at this as a learning experience, then we're going to stay in the Three of Swords with this kind of a negative outlook on life, and everything is going to be a tower moment. Everything is going to be a catastrophe. And we're going to believe every moment that another tower is lurking just around the corner. Okay, and then we're sort of scared to do anything because we never know when the other shoe is going to drop. But if we can embrace this card, and if we can accept that the series of events as they had taken place in your life are, for you specifically, a lesson, wisdom entering your life. And now the same sequence of events, two people can look at it from different perspectives, and both of those people, everybody that looks at it, will receive some different information. Okay? an infinite number of people looking at the same event or sequence of events will have an infinite number of interpretations. Okay? You ask people to write a report about it, and you'll get different perspectives from every single person will have something different, have a different way of interpreting that data. Okay? And so this is your way. This is talking about your unique way of interpreting the data. Why do you interpret things the way you do? Why do things feel the way they feel for you? What is it that is, let's say you're looking at a painting of a bunch of people in a room or something, right? Doing different things. Why do you pick out the things you do in that picture? Why do you, maybe you see the animals down below or something. Maybe your vision goes first to the sky or the clouds or the walls of the building or the food on the table. Maybe you go straight to all the female characters in the picture, or, and then, of course, why do you interpret that they're having a good time? Or why do you interpret that they're fighting? Maybe they're celebrating. It's these sorts of things. That we have a tendency to interpret facts in a very peculiar way because of our history, because of our upbringing, because of the Hierophant, because of the lessons that we have learned over the course of our lives, right? I think Spirit wants us to take a moment to consider, what are the stories that we tell ourselves? What are the lessons that we were taught? Think about your childhood, from 0 to 18, let's say. What were the lessons that you learned? What were you taught? How did you learn to perceive the world from those early days of our lives? Okay? Because I think that what we learn in the first 18 years of our life, those lessons have taught us how to interpret the world. And now, as old as we are, I'm in my 40-something year, we still find that we're interpreting life in the same way that we were taught however many years ago, 40 years ago, And so it's time to start reframing that. It's time to start thinking about reality in a different way. I don't have to look at that event that same way anymore. The things that happen in life, I don't have to interpret them that way. I can change the narrative here. Okay. And turn this into an opportunity for growth. The Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is patience. It takes time for the seed to sprout and grow into this very strong tree, and for that tree to bear fruit. But this is the task before us right now. Write down the event, the seed. A few days later, write down what you've learned from that. Right, the sprout, starting to sprout a little bit, and then a few days after that, write down what the fruits are. What good has come to you because of this tower event? What do you now have? Where are you right now that you wouldn't have? A place where you wouldn't be if that tower event didn't happen. And see if you can find that chain of events. If you can find the confirmation that will satisfy you that this happened for a reason, this happened for you, for your growth, in your best interest, not as a punishment, not as a random chaotic disaster, even though it feels that way. In retrospect, we can look and see how the seed sprouted, grew into a tree, and now it's actually bearing fruit. The phoenix is rising here. I want to look at the mystery card. I want water energy, obviously, right? Either the Hanged Man, which would be pure water, or any other kind of water, maybe an Ace of Cups, maybe a 6, a 9, a 10 of Cups, something like this. Maybe even an 8 of Cups. I think that would show that our emotions are sort of shifting a little bit. That it's because the 8 of Cups, we're kind of looking at the glass half full or half empty, and it's a matter of perspective. Or we can go the completely just kind of left brain logical way and say it doesn't matter if it's half full or half empty. Fact is, it's only half. And that's the reality. That's the sober, cold, hard truth, right? It's half. If you have a prediction for this card, put it in the comments. It's the Seven of Wands. More fire energy. More fire energy. We're being challenged right now. We're being tested. Okay? A lot of things going on in the world. We're being tested. You got to do is watch the news. You'll see we're being tested. Each of us individually are interpreting the sequence of events of life in our own unique way. And we are being tested to see what we believe in, to see if we are going to, if we're going to throw in the towel and give up and completely just say, forget it, I quit. Or if we're going to choose to learn from this experience and grow through this experience and understand that Spirit knows what it's doing. That everything really does happen for a reason, but we're not always privy to that reason. Spirit doesn't need our approval. Spirit doesn't even need our participation. Okay, but if we want to know, and I think you are a seeker of truth and knowledge and wisdom and enlightenment, you're a seeker of the divine. And I think we have to reframe how we're looking at things and realize that I think this is testing us to see if we can handle the truth, if we can handle the revelation of what this all means, why this is happening. Okay? What the prophecy is. We know that life is changing in a lot of ways very, very quickly. Every time I turn on the news, I get a lot of my news from YouTube videos and stuff. Or my wife does, and then she shows me. She's got a tea leaf reading channel. It's Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Go check out her channel. Tell her I sent you. Every time we turn on the news, there is so much change. So many things are happening so quickly that life seems like it's turned upside down. Again, every morning you wake up and hear about something happening in the world, and it's happening so fast. Okay. And I think that it's difficult to keep up with our attempt at interpreting all of this data. All we know is that every time we look, there's these new things happening in life, but I haven't yet figured out the reason for the last thing that happened. It's happening too quickly, so most of us just say, whatever, I'm done. I'm not even gonna try to find the answers. But I feel like you're trying to tune in to Spirit, and you're trying to understand what is happening in the universe right now and how we are all shifting to a new vibration, a new level of consciousness. We are all the phoenix rising. Okay? And this is the necessary growing pains for our ascension. Let's do an extended reading. Now, because this is a special reading, we're going to go straight into the extended. Okay? If you want to join the channel and watch the extended readings for your zodiac sign, you can click on the link in the corner, and there's also a link down below. Check the channel schedule for the days that your zodiac signs are read for. Okay, I read every sign twice per week here. But we're going to just go straight into the extended reading. Yeah. So, let's do that now. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. We're going to do some more tarot cards. We're going to leave all of this stuff here on the table so we can see the new energy and how it might interact and interplay and how it might extend some of the current energies that we have. So, your hexagram today is hexagram 36. This is brightness concealed. Okay? This is the sun hiding in the earth. And to me, it might feel like the way that initially sounds to me is that the clarity, the truth, is kind of hidden underneath all of these events of the material world. But the light is in there. And I think that you are digging for that light. You're trying to discover the light. You're trying to discover the truth and the meaning and the value and the gold, right? That's buried in there at the sun, right? The gold. Let's read the hexagram text and commentary here. Flip through hexagram 36. Brightness obscured. The brightness enters the core of the earth. Brightness obscured. You manage the multitude using darkness, but with intelligence. Brightness obscured, rewarding, laborious perseverance. It's kind of Spirit's way of saying that, you know, most of us are sort of kept in the dark. Okay? Most of us are going through life having tower event after tower event after tower event and never really knowing why. Sometimes Spirit keeps us in the dark. Doesn't give us the positive proof or confirmation or the synchronicity that says, that's why that happened. Okay? That we're sort of, the truth is not revealed to us. It's just the earth energies on top. These are the events of life. Okay? It's kind of a you can't handle the truth kind of moment. But for you, I feel like you are not satisfied with that you want to understand what is happening for you and why. Let's continue reading the commentary. This is light, clarity, wisdom, and intelligence that is concealed, that is cloaked, or camouflaged, or disguised. Okay? And that really, to me, is a tower event. We see the truth, right? We see the open eye and the open mouth here. We see the truth, the revelation of this card, concealed in this chaos. Concealed in the events of the material world is the wisdom and the knowledge, the gnosis. Yeah. Manage the groups of people you interact with by censoring yourself and playing dumb. Persisting despite the difficulty will bring you something good. Okay, manage the groups of people by censoring yourself. And I think that really is when we're talking about this air sign person, it's kind of like just don't react to them. Just like, conceal your intentions. Censor yourself is the exact commentary quote here. Censor yourself. The sun goes down for the night, and we endure the darkness with vigilance and care. Covert intelligence risks no opposition and wastes no energy in self-expression. That is restraint and watchfulness. Minimal resources are used to maximum effect. Recognize a difficult situation and use your willpower to cope with its restrictions. Plain and simple. I'll say it again. Recognize a difficult situation and use your willpower to cope with its restrictions. The superior person manages the situation by subduing your need to meddle or call attention. And also, in the presence of arrogance, the wise person plays the fool. Okay. Right now, the thinking may be confused, requires a new point of view. Okay. You can understand the problem. You cannot fix what happened. You cannot change what happened, but you can understand it. Let's do an angel number as a mystery card. I'm going to set that down right here. We're going to do an empowerment oracle. The blossom. My past does not limit me. I am the flower that grows from my roots, stretching towards sunlight. In the light, I bloom. The seed starts in darkness, but eventually blossoms into the light and bears fruit. Okay. So we may not understand the reasons for events. At the beginning, we may be obscured in darkness, but we will reach the light. Okay. Let's do an oracle of the radiant sun. Fortune. How would there be great fortune in a tower event? You know, I think that's the hidden gold, right? Fortune, it's the sun in Leo. To me, that's a very solar, very golden kind of energy that is concealed in this tower event. But what you will soon realize is the benefit, the great good fortune resulting from this tower event. Not only did you avoid something disastrous, but I think it's going to bring you so much more than what you would have had if that tower event did not happen. Okay. The good fortune. Let's do the creativity oracle card. Truth. An honest desire to know and speak the truth produces beneficial results. Right on point. Right on target. A lot of synchronicity already. Right? Searching for the truth. Trying to understand why. Why did this happen for me? We're trying to frame it that way. Let's do a Metatron oracle card. Love, relationships, and harmony. Well, it's something maybe as simple as, you know, you broke up with someone broke up with you, there's some kind of a loss there, right? A tower event. But through a sequence of events, you are led to a perfect relationship. Love and harmony comes into your life. Okay? It might be that we have to go through these tumultuous relationships and go through these breakups if we're going to find what's really meant for us. Okay? And we have to choose to look at it this way and saying, okay, look, an ending is just a beginning. A tower coming down is just the opportunity to build up something new and something better. Let's do the Path of the Serpent with the Millennium Thoth Tarot pack. The Two of Swords, peace. The Two of Wands, dominion, control. The Three of Wands, virtue. And the Four of Cups. We got a little bit of water. It's a Four of Cups. It's a mixed bag. It's a little bit happy, a little bit not. It's kind of like, it's, you know, it's bittersweet. There's a little bit of a silver lining. Still sucks, but okay, I'm not feeling so bad. Four of Cups is really about us feeling like we have gotten to a safe harbor. This is us kind of in the storm shelter. This is saying that after that tower event, we're going to heal. We're going to be okay. We're going to be safe and sound. And it's in this safe and sound Four of Cups where our emotions have sort of, our frustration, our fire energy has sort of calmed down a little bit, that we can strive for truth and clarity, that we can understand the lesson and we can receive the wisdom of the Hierophant that becomes in us virtue. Okay? Virtue is sort of a devotion to truth, no matter how painful the truth, right? Two of Wands, control over. Three of Swords, control your thoughts. Control your thoughts. First way to control your thoughts, write them down. Write them down gives us power over them. To take them out of our head and put them on paper is us asserting domination over those thoughts, okay? So start the journal. Start that process of writing down, like I said, writing down what happened, a few days later, what you learned from it, a few days after that, what positive benefit occurred because of that. It's a way for us to control the narrative of our own life and create our own reality. Now, the Two of Swords is, of course, peace of mind. Okay, I think that there's going to be a very simple solution to your issue with this air sign person. I think that is through your self-control that this situation will result in something good happening for you, as long as you are able to control your words, control your actions. Okay? Don't lash out. Don't do anything vengeful, you know. Maintain your mental equilibrium. Maintain your peace of mind. And stay in control of yourself, and things will work out in your favor. Now let's look at our mystery card over here. We've got 111, the intuition. Moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy, movement, self-realization, taking action, and unconditional love. It's time to implement long-cherished ideas. You're on the right track toward making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Happiness and new opportunities are at hand. Trust in the process. We have to tear down the old structures to build up the new structures. We have to get rid of the wrong people, places, and things so that we can make room for the right people, places, and things. Yeah. The intuition perhaps telling you that this happened for a reason. I'm going to be okay. This is going to be a good thing. You know, we have to trust. We have to trust. I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you sticking with this video for this long. I know it's about an hour now with the extended readings. It gives you a sample of what the extended readings are like. So if you want to join the channel and watch the extended readings for your zodiac sign, you can click on the link that's down in the video description and you can join the channel, okay? I want to thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.